Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Gran Turismo 7, where we're going to be jumping in for another Manufacturers Cup. This is going to be round 4, the final round of Season 3. We are going to be at Dragon Trail Seaside, and we are going to be in Group 4 Machinery. So of course we are contracted to Genesis for this season. But I can let you know now that I will not be choosing Genesis in the future unless they do something drastic with this car. I have had a lot of trouble over the weekend driving this car. As you will see during these two races, we have two races for you today. This first one here starting on pole position, so I was really excited. This was my first race of the weekend. So I was really excited. It looked like we had a lot of decent pace here. As you can see, coming over to start race number 1, we have a Aston Martin behind us, and just look at the acceleration, the top end of the Aston Martin. I know Aston Martin is a power car as well, but clear ahead of us coming into turn number 1. We also have a Audi TT behind, which is the meta car in Group 4. So we're going to keep an eye on that one. Hopefully we don't lose too many positions. Now keep your eye also on P5, the Bohemian one. This is going to gain a position coming through that corner. He's also going to gain another position from the Audi TT. Coming through the S's, maybe not through the S's, but after the S's, he will be gaining that position as well. Now we're trying to hang on to the coattails of this Aston Martin. But now we're going to talk a little bit about Genesis. I'm not really sure what they have done to this car. It is supposed to be a partner car, or a partner company. Genesis of course making their debut on GT7. But I'm not really sure what they've done to it. It has no acceleration, it also has no top speed, and as you can see here, very understeery. So I'm not really sure whether that was to do with the newest update, but we're going to lose another position here to that other Aston Martin as he tries to go around the outside. But as you can see, I am pretty much on the apex. There's nowhere else I could have gone, so there's going to be a little bit of contact, and we are going to keep that position, but it's not going to matter because of that extra acceleration, the extra top speed. The Spaniard there coming in for his pit stop. So down to strategy. We had two tyres available, or two compounds available. We had the racing softs and the racing hards. Only the racing hards were mandatory, but since you could use the racing softs, and it's going to be about 2 to 3 seconds a lap quicker than the hard tyres. So you can't do a no stop on this one, you're just going to lose way too much time. As you can see here, trying to keep hold of these two Aston Martins, which are just seem to be running away in the distance. But I'm not really sure. I think it might have something to do with the extra fuel. Maybe that is messing up the power to rate ratio. Of course they could have made a mistake on their qualifying lap, but qualifying pole and then just getting outrun like this is slightly worrying. We go a little bit deep here into this right-hander. So that's going to get the gap to the Aston Martin up in front over 1 second. And unfortunately that is going to put us out of slipstream range very soon. Coming through this last corner here. So we managed to take the chicane on the second lap without dying. We haven't died a horrible death in the chicane as of yet, but I'm sure it will come. As you can see in the second race, we have to change our strategy quite a bit. But we're going to move now to lap number 4, where we have 3 seconds to the guy in front, 3 seconds to the guy behind. However, coming through the chicane, we're going to see the yellows, are we? No, we're not. We are going to see a very slow, ghosted Aston Martin. So we're going to gain that position at least, but it's not going to take long before he catches right back up. Moving to lap number 6 here, coming through the S's. You're going to see as soon as we change up to 5th, this car just completely dies. And there you go, just overtaking like we're not even moving. So at this point I'm just thinking we're going to lift off, we're just going to let him through. There is literally no point fighting it, there is nothing I can do. We're going to try and not lose as much time as possible. And coming through this chicane, this very difficult chicane, the chicane of death as it is most commonly known, we're going to have a little bit of dabbing of the brakes so we're not too close behind. Now we did actually move to lap number 9 here, where we made our biggest mistake of the race. Coming in for our pit stop, which was a massive mistake. I thought at the time that it was only a 10 lap race. I did not realise that it was a 12 lap race, and of course you only need to use the hard tyres for 1 lap. So now coming out, we've got 3 laps to do on these hard tyres. Coming out in 6th position, we get a little bit of a mistake coming through turn 1. Trying to get used to these hard tyres. We're going to fast forward now all the way to lap 12, where we caught up with this GTR. We also gained a position from people making their pit stops. And the GTR gets the chicane horribly wrong there, so we're going to gain another position, moving up to 4th place. Going into the last corner here. As long as we get a good exit, we should be able to hold on. Of course, we do know that the Genesis really lacks acceleration and top speed. As you can see, he's gaining all the time, but we are going to finish in 4th position. Moving now on to race number 2. So we have a Aston Martin in front, we also have a Aston Martin behind. So of course we are going to lose that position going into turn 1. So we're going to be coming out of turn 1 in 5th place. The Ferrari there looking for the move, a little bit up to opportunistic, I must say, as that gap was never going to be available. So coming through here, we're going to get a little tap from behind. That's going to compromise my exit, so it's all going to get very stacked up behind. The Ferrari there looking for a way past, but there is no way past down this little sweeping section. Through the S's, we get a pretty good line, not the greatest. We are still slightly in the slipstream of the Aston Martin up ahead, but it's not going to matter. As soon as we change to 5th, we have literally no power. So the Ferrari is going to go clean on through the inside, and we are going to get completely taken out by the GTR. We managed to make the corner, but now we have damage. We're going to get sandwiched by the Corvette and the other GTR. Coming into the chicane, the Corvette is going to stay there, it's not going to let off. So we have to have a massive braking moment so we don't get fired into the wall. That's going to lose us all our momentum coming into the last corner. We're going to gain a position and lose a position as we went past the guy that was taking the penalty. Now in this race, everyone was very opportunistic. As you see, the Toyota there trying to get through as well. Now that is going to cost me a whole load of time as we are down here in 12th, taking our pit stop, but that is going to give us a 3-second penalty as we just went over the white line into the entry of the pit lane. So coming out here in 13th with a 3-second penalty. Of course, now we are on the soft tyres, so we can go all the way to the end. We're going to fast forward now to lap 3, where we managed to catch up with the GTR, who also had also took his penalty, or took his pit stop on lap 2, or at the end of lap 2. But as you can see here, we're in the slipstream, but the GTR is still pulling away, and it's going to be pulling away all the way to turn 1. So this car really does lack the top end and is going to brake incredibly early, so we're going to go up the inside coming into turn 1. Making sure we get a good exit so there is no way past. Of course we all know that the Genesis is really lacking in acceleration. So we're going to try to defend this one a little bit. Just trying to put him off, making sure he doesn't go for the move. Coming through the S's now, we're going to try and focus on the Ferrari up ahead. We have a Ferrari and we have a orange Porsche. But as you can see, the GTR there just all over us through the S's, making the most of that top end. And it's going to come through. However, we are going to stick on the inside. We're going to brake a little bit later, making sure we hit the apex, don't run too wide, and that is going to be position 13 gained. Coming through the chicane here for the 4th time in this race. We have yellow flags coming out. Now in this race, you may notice that we had a little bit of a change of strategy. I was not lifting unless absolutely necessary for the chicane, as the Ferrari there goes a little bit deep, so we're going to come up the inside here. As you can see, getting the better exit, we are pulling away slightly, but then you just see the power of that Ferrari pushing all the way through. We were about a car's length in front, but as we come up to turn 1, he's going to be a full car length in front of me. However, he does go incredibly wide and pulls out very, very early. I do feel like he could have fought that one a little bit harder, but we're going to take the position anyway. Going to be up into P11. We did also gain that position from the death chicane. So we're right up now behind this orange Porsche, the Italian. Let's see if we can make a move pretty soon. We want to get past as soon as possible, so that we can start catching up with the GTR up in front. Coming through the S's, making sure we stay in the slipstream as much as possible. Waiting as long as possible as well to change up to 5th gear so that we don't lose too much time. We're going to stay in the slipstream here and we're going to go for a very late move. He was not expecting it, so he was not defending. Well, we're going to take that position from him, getting a pretty good exit as well. So we'll take that. Coming through the chicane, we saw yellow flags there for a second, and we're still seeing yellow flags. Is there going to be any carnage? No, they seem to have recovered. But moving now to lap 9, where these 3 cars are going to go side by side through the last corner here, and the Corvette is going to have a little bit of contact with the Porsche. That's going to send him into Mr. Barrier. And we're going to fast forward now once again to the start of lap 10, where we caught up really well to the Porsche. He's going to go a little bit wide and we're going to get the good exit. So we're going to get a long side coming up to the S-bends. Going to make sure we give him space on the inside, but he pulls out quite a lot and he's going to lose actually quite a lot of positions. I thought he could have fought that a little bit harder as well, but we'll take it. And moving now to the final lap, because nothing really happened. I don't think we gained any position from pit stoppers, but we're going to make the exact same move here on the Toyota, getting a better exit. This time we're going to be clean on through before we get to the S-bends. So coming through the S-bends here for the last time in this race. The GTR has managed to pull a bit of a gap. Gap now up to 1 second, so I don't think we're going to be close enough unless he has a massive depth at the chicane, which is always a possible at Dragon Trail Seaside. So it looks like we are destined to finish in 6th place. Coming through the chicane here for the last time in this race. Is there going to be any massive accidents? No. In fact, we actually go into the wall ourselves. We're going to lose a little bit of time here coming into the last corner of this race. Trying to get a good exit, however we all know that the lack of acceleration and top speed is really gonna bite us here as we come across the line in P6, P Steve, the cursed position. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. A very disappointing weekend, I think, for Genesis. But do let me know what you think down in the comments below. But that is going to do it for me. I will see you in the next video. Take care and goodbye.